Hey everybody, Jimmy with the Triple C Collective here, and
I'm Collin.
hey Collin, and we are here for another Mandalorian Monday for you to bring you Chapter 18 of Season 3, which is technically Episode 2 of Season 3.
Yes.
But Chapter 18 overall of this.
The Mines
And
of Mandalore.
I gotta say, this was a sweet, sweet episode, man.
Oh, tight, packed with everything, lore, action. It was just great.
So, I mean,
It got right into it. Like, you get right into it.
But we were talking about this a little bit before, that it's nice that we're getting so much payoff of like these like Clone War things that are like starting to pop up over here. Like in the first episode, we saw the Purrgil.
Mm.
Like,
Right.
that was so. But going to Mandalore, finding out the mines,
Yep.
and like doing all of that has been like talked about for so long.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
But first, before we even
Yeah.
dive in there, we get a visit with our old pal.
Palmato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
Um,
Palimato?
Yeah,
Palmato?
Palimato. Which is great. I love seeing her. You know, she's working,
Ripping off a customer.
Yeah. She's hustling.
True hustler. Yeah.
Yeah, she's hustling a Rodian and with the Jawas, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Makes so much sense.
Basically, steal the parts.
Yeah,
And
the
then sell them the parts back, repainted.
Yeah, basically. And then we get the Mandalorian there. Din, he shows up.
He's showing up in the fireworks scene. That's so cool. There's clearly like some holiday going on, and she reveals
it's
yeah.
Boonta Eve.
Yeah, which I think was the same in the pod racing in the original with Anakin.
Oh.
I think it was Boonta Eve or something that they were doing the pod races in, because there was like some similar racing going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't the old pod racing rules or whatever, but
Yeah.
they were doing like that same type of. It had the same type of energy.
I called it a drag race, is what we saw at the beginning of the episode outside of
Like with RuPaul? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's there because he wants to fix IG-11, his homie, his only robot homie.
He's hoping, the only robot homie he'll trust.
Yeah.
He's really hoping though that either Pali or the Jawas can get him the memory circuit that he needs, or just fix it for him. And they're like, no, they can't do it. But of course, the hustler that she is, I can't do that. But I got this wonderful astromech that I'm telling you, man, I think it's the same one that Uncle Owen and Luke buy in episode 4.
The R5 unit?
Yeah.
It looks like the one that C-3PO and R2, but they don't pick R2, they pick the R5 unit. And
because it explodes.
R2, because R2 did that. But yeah, so and it had like a little explosion mark on its back. It looked like a little, I don't know, maybe, but yeah, it's very cool looking. Because I said the same thing. Is it the one Luke doesn't take?
Yeah, that they don't end up taking because of it.
Which is again so sick. These little things that they're doing is just like very interesting. Because even if it's not, it's that particular R5. It looks very much like it, and it's cool to see.
And even if it's not, it's just cool. It's just cool to see the R5 unit.
Yeah, and this R5 unit is awesome. He's an anxiety-ridden droid. Yeah.
But one of the funniest things is when the Mandalorian and Grogu get out. Grogu does his little flip right into her. There he is.
My boy has learned some stuff.
She comes back. She's like, "Are the Hutts back?
Yeah.
Are you fighting Boba Fett?"
Yeah, exactly.
like thinking it's gonna be this crazy grand adventure and stuff. And I think it's done for a reason, being like, I like if we're gonna get action for sure, we're gonna get cool fights and stuff, but I don't know if we're gonna have like a grand scale of like the Hutts come back.
We'll have the Hutts coming back probably if there is another Boba Fett. You know what I mean? Season like they're not for sure. That's not this show's main focus at all.
But so. He takes the IG, or he can't
R5.
take the IG-11. unit. So he takes the R5 and they leave.
Yep.
He goes to Mandalore.
Which I wonder still if he's going to try to still get the IG back or no. If that's just the end of it.
I don't know that
because he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I think he would like to have a droid that he can trust, or like a droid that he can trust to leave with like Polly cool. or whatever. Yeah. But like now, cool. but at the same time, I wonder if it's also something that like it's like, well, Bo-Katan has a droid that like helps her and stuff.
I like her droid too, with the little insignia, the little Mandalore signal.
So it's like if he trusts this IG-11 unit and can get it like restored and everything like that, then why not?
Right.
That would make sense.
But having an R5 would be fine. But you might want an R2D2 and a C-3PO.
Yeah.
IG and an R5.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah.
But this is awesome. We go to Mandalore and like,
yeah,
dude.
So right away he uses the R5 unit for what he needs to use it for.
Yeah.
But they go through this atmosphere, and it's kind of like, oof.
Yeah.
This planet has been destroyed.
It's crazy. Storms, lightning, all of this craziness.
And then you see the crystalline planet that's clearly been destroyed by like plasma bombs or whatever it is, and but they get down, and the R5 unit's sent ahead to kind of get the landscape and see if the environment's safe.
The atmosphere readings and stuff, and it's so awesome. One thing that I do love before they go into Mandalore, is the navigation thing again.
Fun, yeah. He's doing that again.
Is that he's talking.
I mean, we said in the last episode, there's a reason they're doing this.
Yeah. And it pays off.
It pays off. It does pay off in the next episode. I didn't expect it to be that quick, to be honest.
Yeah, right. But another thing... Okay, well, you know what? Before we jump ahead, because so they talk about navigation before they get there. He points out, this is where you saw Bo-Katan, or this is where I grew up, this is where you saw Bo-Katan, and this is where we're going.
Right.
And so, you got to remember...
They're in the Mandalore system. Which
as much as we say...
and, there's moons that he grew up on, and then, other planets, but they're in the Mandalore system. Yeah. And he's showing them where he grew up.
And all of that.
Yeah.
So that was really great. But the R5 unit, man, does not want to go out there.
No,
does not want to go exploring. And like, Din's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go.
Right. This is literally the only reason I got you.
Like, this is the only reason you are here for me. Otherwise, I would not be dealing with your BS right now, man. Like.
Right. I'm gonna love their relationship. That's why I'm kind of like, I like this R5.
I hope they keep him around too. One of the things though so the R5 goes off looking around this little like landscape and stuff, this rock, and then falls off their little radar map. So like, Din's just like,
yeah.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Hey, Grogu, get into your little ball, lock it up. I'm gonna go pressurize my helmet, and I'm gonna go try and find this guy. And so we get a good walk around of this. And
he makes it into this little like cave. It looks like that R5 rolled into, and he gets in there and he sees the cityscape, just the travesty though, like of just like how horrible it is,
and how it's just
decayed,
rotting, basically. And then he gets attacked by the
a Yeti-looking thing. It's an Alamite, I guess. I looked it up. It's an Alamite, but it's clearly there's.
It's an 8-blade creature,
Right. So there's things surviving on this planet. That's all I noticed right away. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. So like exactly. Let's stay here for a second. The whole reason Din was coming down here and why he brought a droid was to see if the air is livable and like breathable for him. Now,
unless these creatures evolved to be able to breathe the chemicals, which I doubt.
But that was the first thing of where I was like, oh my god, they're lying.
Right.
There's been lies.
So he's fighting these Alamites off, right?
Yeah.
And he uses the Darksaber, and he still sucks. He still sucks with it.
So it still looks like it's heavy to him.
Yeah, because he doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, but
you'll see later who knows how to use it.
Yeah.
But
is that also the connection?
Because, I think he's just not
like a wanted connection to. Like
he doesn't care about it, to be honest.
Exactly.
It's not like he just got it.
Yeah. He got it just because he beat Moff Gideon. Like that's the only.
That wasn't his goal though. He just wants to be a Mandalorian. He doesn't want to be a leader. He doesn't have these Bo-Katan grand plans because she grew up in that. He just grew up a regular dude. That's just trying to be what he knows.
Yeah.
To be the best man he can be. And now he's a father, so he wants to be a Mandalorian so he can have Grogu become a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Show him this is the way.
Right.
Droid buzzes after, he finally beats up the Alamites.
Yep.
And they go back to the ship. They get the results. They chart that, dude. They find out that the air is breathable, as we just saw. So like for me, it was like, all right. I when I saw the Alamites, I was like, we can live here.
Yes.
Like we can be here. We can rebuild again and stuff. Yeah. Which opens up so many other questions and doors, but we'll get to that. I love this. Because then they go back at gallivanting.
Yeah, they go back. Yeah, now they're like, all right, let's go.
Din and Grogu. Go down,
which is so cool to see when they jump down the little chutes and Grogu follows in his little
in his little half sphere.
But then at the end they do show on the animation they had one where it was just him holding Grogu, and I'm like, oh, that one kind of cute too. But I loved the sphere one.
The sphere one makes more sense because that also
it gives him autonomy.
When we get there, it gives Grogu. It gives Grogu his.
They were like. Yeah, they painted themselves into a corner the other way.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah.
Right.
So down the tunnels, they land into the cityscape. They walk and they're seeing the different buildings. They go into. They drop down further into more tunnels, and in these tunnels we see like alligator type creatures that have green glowing eyes and stuff. Yeah. And like.
They're looking at Grogu like a snack. Yeah. They're like,
hey, string
but
bean.
they're a little scared of him and Mando, so it's like they stay back.
They're not necessarily there, but Grogu speeds back on up and makes sure he is dead even with Din after that.
Yes.
Like they don't do any more.
Right.
They enter down again. So we keep going down because the living waters are in the mines.
Under the mines.
Under the mines, in the mines of Mandalore, and so it is like the lowest point of like this cityscape of like where you can go in this like area.
Exactly.
Like Bo-Katan called it the Civic Center, so I kind of just
under the Civic Center.
Yeah. It's the
is what we saw when they first entered. Like that's what the Civic Center. It used to be. You see pictures.
A grand city and all of that.
You've seen it in Clone Wars and Rebels,
Yeah, all of that. But we get they go down the path, and Din finds a Mandalorian helmet just like lying there in the sand, and then bam, we got that mechanical spider jump.
General Grievous looking thing. I loved it. It's not. It's definitely not General Grievous like.
It's just an
even
eyeball.
his race, like it doesn't look like. His race at all, but it definitely looks like General Grievous is like. But he's got this because he's a bio machine, so he's part machine, part.
It's like one single eyeball
and a brain.
Yeah,
it's like an eyeball connected to a brain that's in a mechanical structure, and he's got all these arms, and it's cool. It is one of my favorite looking. Characters I've seen in a long time that popped up. But the pirates were great in the last episode, but that thing was just on point with what like George Lucas was like doing and stuff.
That's the cool thing about that they made it a mech as opposed to a creature.
Right.
Because
you could both, right?
Right. You get a little bit of both because you got the eye brain.
Yeah.
But like to be fair, at first we see just this, but that. I'm getting. I just like that they did a mech.
Yep.
First, instead of just doing a big giant spider.
Yep.
Like we saw like the ice spiders and stuff before in like season 2 and all of that.
Yeah.
So like.
Well, we've seen the giant spiders in like Rebels and stuff too. Like we don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's other. It's cooler to see a new character, new design that is in the old designs favor. It's exactly what George Lucas was looking. Like if he could have done something today, I feel like he would have made something like that, and it's awesome.
But Grogu follows Din and the spider into the spider lair.
Yeah.
Yes. And we find, and this is where we see the big, giant mechanical one. A little one comes out with the eyeball and the brain, and it's like another little spider, like you were talking about, with a bunch of arms and stuff. It's like a spider inside a spider.
Yeah.
It's like the inception of spiders.
Exactly. Right.
You're not scared of spiders.
But, you know, the eyeball leaves, like, kind of pokes and jabs at, like, Din, and then Grogu comes up, starts, like, you know, like, doing his little force stuff, and, like,
trying to
open it, but ends up kind of slipping a little bit of Din's, like, carriage and, like, makes a little bang noise. Right. So the eyeball then, like, comes chasing after him.
Real quickly, yeah. And it's, like, this weird cage thing.
Yeah.
Din's in. It's, like, trapping around him, and it's, like, it looks like a torture device for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And Din's kind of falling out.
Yeah.
You know, he's, like, losing blood or whatever.
He's falling in and out, and, you know, he does tell, like, Grogu, like
don't try to get me out.
Go to Bo-Katan.
Go to Bo-Katan.
Go to Bo-Katan, you know, just like I showed you.
But I wonder why wouldn't Bo-Katan is just
Bo-Katan is the closest person that would be
in the system. She's in the system. I was wondering, I'm like, why didn't he go to Ahsoka or something? I'm like, yeah, that would be hard.
No,
first,
he didn't.
How is he going to navigate when that's already in the navigation? Probably Grogu can do that. So this is the point. We get Grogu. He leaves, and Grogu has to fly with R5's help back to Bo-Katan.
Yeah, but he's still But here's the thing: the importance of the navigation thing beforehand is that, like, he points to which one it is on the map, and what Grogu does is he's pointing to Bo-Katan's planet, looking back and saying "Go."
Right.
Like go, go, go. Like we go here.
Yes.
And so like. That despite him not.
So you already see this little relationship to start with Grogu and R5. That could be the R5 unit. That could be great. I don't know if they've given him a name yet. The R5 unit, probably not. Just R5, right?
No, they just kind of call him R5.
Yeah. And
everything like that. Bo-Katan not happy. Not happy to see.
She's so annoyed.
She's not happy to see Din's ship.
She's like, I am gonna treat him right now. Like, oh, you want to fight? Like, we'll fight. Like,
I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna end this right now. And then, like, the hatch pops up, and then
it's just a little cutie,
little Grogu, and she's like, "Where's your dad?"
Yeah. And
what happened to him?
Right.
And then she's like, download the astromech, find out where they last were, and let's go. Mm-hmm. Then we cut to them being back at the Mandalorian.
Well, hold on. First, they got on Bo-Katan's dope ship. She's got the coolest ship. It's like the Gauntlet Starfighter, I think it's called. I looked it up, and it is one of my favorites because when it like looks up, it looks like her night owl symbol, kind of. Like it has a resemblance to that. It's maybe one of my new favorite ships in the Star Wars universe.
You're right. It's great. It's great.
So it's so cool.
I did love it. And
so they leave in her ship and they go back to the planet. Mm-hmm. She gets there and she makes work of these Elamites.
Yeah.
When she gets there, she knows how to do this. Like she's pow pow. Like Mando got through him too, but he struggled a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas Bo-Katan's just like pew, pew, pew. She gets through that, and
it's a workout
fun.
on a Tuesday afternoon for her.
Exactly.
Like that's exactly what that is.
Yep.
And it's so funny, and it's also very interesting. Bo-Katan is actually very kind of reassuring and stuff with. Like Grogu.
She's great with Grogu. Her beef is clearly with Din.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love her interactions with Grogu. Like she's
well, because she's like, I know you're frightened, but I still need you to lead me where he is.
Exactly.
And like, and then she talks about like knowing Jedi and stuff like that.
She explains that I need you to help me, but also like I'm reassuring you that I will be there. I'll be here for you. And she shows that pretty quickly when she pushes them aside and takes care of those Elamites.
Yeah. So the one other thing that she asks is like, how good are you with the Force?
Yeah.
And like good enough to get to you though. Mm-hmm. Like she's like, well, good enough to get to me.
Yeah.
And then, dude, what about when Bo also like shoots out? Well, we kind of talked about that, but she shot out that like nest of the Elamites.
Yeah.
Like, like that was wild too. Before she even like,
because she starts mentioning like, oh, there's creatures still living here, right?
Yeah.
Like that's she starts realizing like, oh wait, I've been lied to. You know what I mean? Like she's starting to realize too at this point.
Well, because when they first get to the Civic Center, she gives like the history of like the family
which is also
and everything.
Cool.
Of like, you know, we used to live here and like rule here and like this was a thriving city and blah 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 all that stuff. I think if I'm being honest, I really think Bo-Katan is trying to leverage Grogu into getting a little on her side of like trying to.
Yeah, it's not working, but she's trying. It's definitely not working. There's a few points in this episode. Grogu's kind of like, what are you talking about? Like he can't talk, but he's basically saying like, nah, girl,
not happening. But then we get the eyeball lair. They finally arrive to that. We get more of Din losing blood, getting pumped out of him,
spinning on this torture device.
Is there an open flame over it, or is it just like red rock and just kind of high on the extent? Because it honestly almost looks like they're slow roasting.
Right. It does look like that. It does look like he's just draining his blood or something. I'm not really 100% sure what he was doing to him. Doing whatever the spider mechs need to do to get through their day.
Dude, Bo.
Yeah.
She comes in
again.
hot.
She goes quick work, and she gets she loses. She grabs the Darksaber.
Yeah. And
this is when you see someone who knows how to use the Darksaber. Like it's fluid in her hand. It's like cutting butter. She's flying through this thing. She chops that thing down without effort, and she starts getting Din out. Yeah. And that's when you see the little spider head come out of that and go into its big mech.
Yeah, go into the big mech and like, oh my god, it is
again sick,
wild.
But that big mech is not gonna stand against her in that Darksaber.
No,
because she's just a beast. She
she
deserves it, in my opinion. She deserves it. I know the armor doesn't like her and stuff, but. Not that I like her her motives right now, but she needs to learn some stuff before she gets it back. But she definitely deserves it. Din doesn't want it, so I you can't just give it to her though. So it's just gonna be interesting how we get there. But anyway,
I mean they gotta do a battle, but
what does that mean? It doesn't.
If they agree to a fight for the Darksaber and he yields during that fight, like in the end she should win it, like for all intents and purposes. But I don't know. But we get after the fight with the giant mechanical thing and everything, we get a nice little like swipe away. Bo and Grogu made a little fire. Din's knocked out, just laying there.
They're making some pog soup.
Some pog soup, and
they wake him up, and he's like, I never had this. He's like, what? This is like Mandalorian like. It's
delicacy.
What we eat.
You gotta.
It's like Irish people not eating potatoes.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean?
And so Bo's just like, hey, you keep resting. I'll take you to my ship. We'll get out of here. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm not leaving, Bo. I don't know what you think. Think I've been like joking or like playing at here, but I need to go to the mines. Bathe in the living waters so that I can be redeemed and
she snickers at him like a lot, but she also like her guard's coming down more and more.
Yeah,
because she's clearly getting proved wrong. Like this whole episode is just her getting proved wrong. Like but she's still giving him like, dude, we used to go there. Like it was just a ceremony for people to look at us royals and be like, cool, you know what I mean? And he's like, but nah, like,
but it's part of the creed.
If not for this, what's the point? Yeah, you know what I mean?
If we don't have the creed, like, what do we stand for?
Right.
Because
that's the cool thing about being a Mandalorian. You don't have to be from a specific place. You have to just live by a certain.
You gotta live by the
set
creed.
Of rules, yeah.
And so it's like, the rest of us were scattered throughout the galaxy. Like you rescued me. Yeah. I'm forever in your debt, but I still need to fulfill my obligation.
This thing,
And she's finally like, you know what? I'll take you to him.
Let's go.
Let's go. And he's like, thank you. And she's like,
but it also, this was another that moment where Grogu was kind of like,
like, don't thank me until you see him.
It seems like Bo-Katan might have some, she's kind of like, she's doing this to prove a point, and it seems a little nefarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely is, but they get down there. The tunnels to the waters.
Very cool. And they see the sign down there.
Yeah. They see the sign,
she reads it off.
She reads it off like everything, like, you know, not they like as they're even walking through some stuff. She's like, you know, it's crazy that this used to be like filled with stuff, and it seems so long ago when really it wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like of us being able to like live here and everything. You know, did Din ask her like what pains you? And she's like, what pains me most is seeing our people like fight each other. She
gets to the point where she hates the civil war that happened between the Mandalorians more than what the Empire even did, because if it wasn't for the civil wars, the Empire wouldn't have been able to defeat them at all.
The way they did.
That was the only reason they were able to get their way in.
Was because of their own
which was by design. So she hates that. She just wants to see her people united, and she looks at Din's faction as this like outlier kind of like,
and part of the reason why Mandalore like fell and everything because of their shatteredness.
Yeah, because you guys have to live by a certain rule, and I'm not this, and because I do it a different way, and it's very much like religion. And we saw in the first episode the baptism, and this one it's like, you know, he's giving himself a baptism in this episode.
Yeah, because we get down there, you know, we get down to the living waters after Bo reads like the history and everything that. Yeah,
she reads the history about the Mythosaur and whoever can tame the Mythosaur can rule Mandalore, and so that's her way in.
Yeah,
but she does, you know, that's definitely a way in.
But dude, so like they're there. This is it. Before Din walks into the waters, though, they do have the conversation of her father defending Mandalore and everything, and Din's like, I would have liked to have known him. Yeah. Sounds like a good dude, and she's like, he's a great dude, basically. And
they're really giving off their flirty vibes going on here, like more than usual. Like she's softening up to him because she just sees how much he cares. Yeah, she can't help but admire him in a certain way. Like she's definitely annoyed with him throughout this episode.
Absolutely.
Like it's very visible, but she's definitely understanding him more and more.
Yeah. So Din's at the edge of the water, takes off all of his excess stuff that he has, leaves it there, starts walking into the water, saying the creed and everything, and then bang, just drops off.
Something grabs him and takes him under, it seems like, or Jaws came up, grabbed him. She quickly jumps in right after him.
Again, coming in hot.
Yeah, she's just always ready to go.
Puts her like little jetpack on and starts like.
Which was so cool seeing the jetpack flame light up the water, and she had her light on her helmet.
And then, but dude, her turning off the light on her helmet so that as she's going down, she can look for his light.
Yep.
Like
so smart. Yeah.
So great. That was so awesome.
So she picks him up. He's like all the way on the bottom of the.
And they're floating on up there, still jetpack going. What does she see?
An eyeball, a giant eyeball, and wow, what they show us is something I've been hoping to see in live action.
Dude, we see a Mythosaur.
Yeah,
see it. We see it.
Yeah,
and it's great because there's one alive.
Which to me it's like, okay, so maybe it was never dead. I'm assuming it never died, and it has something to do with the living waters and the Beskar and the reasoning behind all of this, why the mines are even there in the first place, and she, like I said, she still now has a shot.
Yeah, well, and so like that's the thing now. By both of them going in and out of the waters here, they've both been baptized.
Yep,
they've both been redeemed because like. Even with like Bo-Katan still has her own like little shame and all that kind of stuff, but like
did she not go to the living waters and
go down there and come back up, and say like yes.
Right.
Saw the mythosaur, so now it'll be very interesting because now it'll be interesting if Bo-Katan tries to tame the mythosaur and let Din have the Darksaber,
or use the mythosaur to get the Darksaber.
Maybe.
You know, but the way she talked about the Civil War, I see her trying to figure out a different way.
I see her trying to make like a tribunal of Mandalore or something of that, and having Din be one leader, her be one leader, and whoever else be.
Or just unite the people and then make democratic.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, democracy.
Well, I mean, like, absolutely.
But yeah, that's Star Wars, baby. Yeah. But yeah, it is.
But yeah, she basically gets him back up to the surface. She takes a deep breath. She goes
was reborn she just got out of the womb for the first time.
And it's important that like somebody's reborn, faith is reborn in that really her faith is like reborn in that she believes she can rule Mandalore.
And will not only rule but rebuild Mandalore.
And have it be a home again.
Mandalore's a place and it's not,
oh man,
it's not what the Empire tried to make it out.
Dude, it's so good. Like The Mandalorian. It's back, baby.
Yeah.
It's back.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm so excited to see what else we get. Everything that they do is just, oh man. The Mandalorian just continues to impress.
Well, this season especially, because it's been 2 episodes only, and it's just so much packed in with stuff that we've been wanting to see.
Yeah.
Already. And then this is now, it's like, what, they can do anything now, and I'm fine. You know what I mean?
I mean, to be fair, after season 1, really after episode 1, I was like, I'm here, boys.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm here. Sign me up every season, however long you guys decide you want to do this. I'm here for The Mandalorian. It absolutely won me over from season 1.
But I hope other Mandalorians show up that we recognize, maybe Boba Fett, because they did mention him in this episode. Yeah. Maybe.
What about Sabine?
That's what I was gonna say. Maybe Sabine.
That'd be sweet.
It would be awesome. Because we're walking into Ahsoka soon too, and she would be a good little.
They Easter do egg. Backdoor entries that way into people.
Exactly.
So
we already met Ahsoka. Let's. And she knows Bo-Katan, so it doesn't make sense that Bo-Katan hasn't even mentioned her yet. Where is she?
I mean, dude, if we saw Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett, we could see her show up in Mandalorian again,
right?
And she could.
Oh, I'm not counting that out, but this season doesn't feel like a season that she feels more about Mandalorians.
Oh no!
You're right.
But that's what I'm saying. I also wouldn't be surprised if Ahsoka shows up with Sabine.
True.
To drop her off or something. Literally, she I would if Ahsoka were to show up, I'm thinking it would be episode, maybe half of it. She wouldn't even be in the full thing.
Yeah, right. A couple minutes.
It would be maybe she's in the first half, drops off Sabine then takes over her role for the second.
Yeah, because I just want to see Sabine and Bo interact.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What's going on with their relationship? Because clearly they've fallen out a little bit.
Yeah. We haven't seen them together or anything. But I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm Jimmy with the Triple C Collective.
I'm Collin.
And we want to thank you all for joining us. We hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to this video and to our channel. And as always, this is the way.